Hello and welcome back to Exit Corners. We have completed the game. This is an extra episode, so if you haven't watched the previous episodes, get out, go and watch them first, or go and play them first, because this is gonna be spoilers. We have already had an ending, and there is an alternate end that we are aiming for today. To do this, we have to do some things. And basically I have a list here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do them and I'm just going to cut straight between them so you can see what the things are that I have to do, and then we can see what the changes are later. I don't know exactly how this is going to go. I don't know how much is going to change and stuff, but we'll see. So the first thing that I need to do is... Right, so there's this password that you can do, and it saves your choices and stuff. So this is my personal password of my playthrough. I need to type in this other password that I've got right here, and this should allow for the choices to have been made that Liza makes it to the end as well. Because I would like to see what happens with her, even though it's an alternate end, so it might be different, but we should do this. So I'm going to type this in, but there's no copy and paste, so give me a minute. Okay, I've typed that in. Let's load it. Okay, password successfully loaded. Hopefully that works. Now, I'm going to go through certain chapters and put in some alternate solutions to some puzzles. I think this was a group effort, as when the game ended or as it released, probably after it ended, where people probably someone was like, oh, I found this clue, so that people could come together to find the alternate ending, because it doesn't come naturally to me. Right, chapter 2. I have to get to the puzzle and do an alternate answer. Okay, this is the first puzzle that we need to change. So turn 7 into 26. When we did it, we made a Z. But this is an alternate version. Where we make a 26. Those are correct. Okay. I feel like that wasn't the right answer. Ether would know. Well, if that wasn't the right answer, the screen wouldn't have said solved. Okay, this is chapter 7, enemy, and I have to put an alternate answer into this puzzle, and it goes 3, 5, 4, 3, blank. Okay. There we go, puzzle solved. Now I just cross my fingers. That doesn't make any sense. What's wrong, Ray? That can't be the right answer. You only entered 4 symbols when the solution is 5 symbols long. Negative space, my dude. It's the right answer, trust me. It matches the pattern. Rotate 90 degrees right, rotate 90 degrees right again, rotate 180 degrees, and then mirror right to left. It just so happens the final tile in the solution is blank. You just mirror from right half to left, so I didn't even need to enter a 5th symbol. Makes sense to me. Huh, I guess that does work. Suppose sent program 2 solutions for this puzzle. 2 solutions? Yeah, there was another valid answer. I was just about to enter it. I wonder what would have happened if I had tried the other one. Well done, contestants. Well done indeed. Okay. Alright, now we're in chapter 12, a cut above, and I have to make sure that I said the sword is fake. I'm a little bit concerned because to get here I'm having to change other choices, so I hope I'm not fucking anything up. It's a little bit complicated, so... I have to make sure I say it's fake. What about this sword? Do you think it's real? No. Not real. Right. Okay, now we're in chapter 16. Name and number. This also has an alternate solution. February 31st equals March 3rd. I have no idea what this means. There we go, got it. Ah, that's quite clevering. So the months like wrap around. Huh? Yeah, February only has 28 days this year, but if February did go all the way around to the 31st, it would land on the same day as March 3rd. What? Oh! Oh, okay, I understand. That's cool. I like that. But I thought it was going to be programming focused, so I was thinking about it all wrong. We all make mistakes. Okay. We are in chapter 17, 12 minutes, and I had to skip to the part where Beth comes back in the room and there'll be an alternate scene. So this should be it. Here's Beth with the sword, ready to be chopping off some limbs. Standing in the doorway was Beth. Ether poked her head out meekly from behind her. Beth carried with her the sword from beyond the green door. Except it wasn't a real sword at all, it simply looked like one. What are you gonna do with that, Beth? Be quiet, we've got less than 2 minutes before this machine goes off again. Ink, give me your scarf. Ink obeyed. Yeah, so that's why we don't have our scarf later on. He didn't know why Beth needed his scarf, but ultimately he trusted her. I don't know when the new bits start, and I have a bad memory, so I'm just going to read it all. Ether fumbled her back pocket and pulled out what looked like a broken chair leg. Beth fastened the two together in a manner that Ink had never seen before. What are you doing? What the fuck are you doing, Beth? Please be still. Don't touch me. I'm going to speed read, though. So, I think this looks the same. The absolute horror. I don't think it'll be feasible to break it first, given our constraints. I'm gonna try and go through it in one swing. Also, like, oh, breaking it. She did manage to get it off. Like, breaking it first is brutal. No, I'm not okay with this. This is the only way we're gonna get you out of here. You can't just hack my arm off like that. And here I thought you hated that word. That must have been in there before as well. Ray swatted at Beth meekly with his free hand, but she didn't so much as flinch. You need to let me do this, Ray. I'm not letting you turn me into a fucking cripple. A cripple or a corpse, it's up to you. Ray had no answer. Ink glanced up at the timer again. Less than a minute remained on the clock. Beth, that isn't a real sword. It's not gonna work. Ink opened his mouth to speak, but no words would come out. Oh God. I'm not gonna force you to go through with it, but this is the only avenue left to you. You need to decide, Ray. Now. It doesn't matter, does it? Ink understood, finally, the way this strange world worked. The 4 elements curse. This is new, right? It doesn't matter whether or not that sword is real. It never mattered. Time slowed. Sound stopped. She knows it'll work. And in this place, that's good enough. Isn't it, Sen? Okay, so like a tiny little bit of dialogue there. So imagine if you'd done all the alternate puzzle answers and got that. That would have been cool. But that is exactly how it works. Kind of, right? Like it's I was reading the AMA and like he explained how basically things got written as how people imagined them. And Beth thought the sword was real, therefore it was real. Despite the fact we thought it wasn't real beforehand, but we'd gone like out of bounds of the object, so by the time they'd gone back to it, it had been rewritten again with these new rules, which is cool. Alright, now we're in chapter 24, down in the dumps. Remember this puzzle? I was really good at this puzzle. So we have to write valid. But I can't, yeah, so like this I think is the, and I don't think it matters where these ones are, we're just gonna put valid down there. I don't know why. Hopefully that, oh, spelling both down, oh, valid spelling down and across. Oh my god, that's so tricky. I didn't even notice that the letters for valid were in there. That is really tricky. That's funny, I like that one then. Ha, got it. What? That's not right at all. You just don't see it yet. Reread the clue one more time. A scowling Tiana scrutinized the screen once more, her eyes zipping back and forth in their sockets. You don't mean valid? That's exactly right. You get a gold star. Sorry, that came out more ironic than I thought it would. Oh, I wouldn't have minded. Snarky ink is best ink. I still don't get what's going on. How is this the right answer? Read the friggin' clue, Tiana. The clue said requirement, valid spelling both down and across. The wording felt a little off, so I thought about how else one might interpret the hint. And it so happens the puzzle contains all of the letters to spell the word valid, but since the grid is only 3 tiles tall and 3 tiles wide, you need to spell it by first going down and then across. Which is exactly what I did. I had the word valid, hooked the bottom left corner of the puzzle, the other letters were irrelevant. That's neat. I was gonna say, that's genius. Totally. The puzzle is actually a bit more interesting when you consider different solutions like that. Very cool. These puzzles have had some creative solutions before, but this one's on another level. How are any of us supposed to get that? I would never have got it. We weren't. This is an alternate solution. Alternate solution? Wouldn't that defeat the point of these puzzles? Ray, you're the one that pointed out earlier there was an alternate solution. We don't actually know the point of these puzzles, so who's to say? A lot of these puzzles are actually more like riddles. They're heavily open to interpretation. Multiple solutions sort of play into that angle. Have you run into this before? This must be the exception and not the... not this again. Because she's thinking about it being fake or real or, you know, whatever it is that triggers. Whoa, careful there. Go sit down, maybe. Fuck off, Sean. I just need a few seconds, sorry. No need to apologise, go catch your breath. You should apologise. Go and apologise to everyone, you stupid bitch. Oh, I hate these people so much. Tiana sighed, leaning against a nearby wall and closing her eyes. Come to think of it, Ether, this is actually stirring up that theory of mine. What? What are y'all talking about? What kind of theory? It's probably not important. I disproved the theory less than an hour after coming up with it. Hey, I'm curious. What's the harm in sharing? It'll sound pretty weird, but here goes nothing, I guess. I don't know if we've read this before. No, we haven't. I thought that if you believed in something hard enough, it'd come true. What? That's crazy, I know. And it was. I just got carried away with wishful thinking. No, it's totally true. Right, yeah, right. As nice as that'd be, the world doesn't work like that. Look at him, he's like twitching because we're onto something. Not the world, no, but I thought that this hotel might have abided by different rules. He doesn't even know what to say. I want some of whatever you're smoking, pal. It didn't sound so crazy when he first explained it. Maybe we have read this before, but I can't think of why we would have said that without having the alternate solutions. This is the first I'm hearing of this. You're unconscious. This all happened shortly after your, corner. What made you think all that nonsense? Some of my puzzle solutions were, admittedly, a bit of a stretch. I started to wonder if they were only correct because I believed they were correct. That 26 did look a lot more like a 25. Honestly though, it was more of a gut feeling than anything. Little details here and there started making a tiny bit more sense when viewed in this new context. That theory doesn't hold any weight though, right? No, not really. I tried a couple of experiments and they failed pretty spectacularly. The first thing I tried was to close my eyes and believe with all of my being that I was no longer inside the four elements. That didn't work, obviously, but I chalked it up to the fact that I didn't expect it to. That's how lucid dreaming works, my friend. You can totally do that if you're in a dream. I mean, not in a computer program, but in a dream, yeah? So let me get this straight. You literally tried wishing your way out of here? Sounds dumb when you phrase it that way, but I thought it was onto something at the time. The next thing I tried was to believe in something small and innocuous, something I'd have no reason to suspect was untrue. We still had access to the bar at this time, so I thought I might try an experiment with the booze there. I asked Ether to fetch me a pair of whiskies from the shelf at the back. Didn't matter which ones. Right, let's see if I can remember. You wanted 2 different whiskies. I remember you telling me to make sure they had identically shaped bottles. And then after sampling each, you asked me to either swap or not swap. So, oh, and she doesn't even know she's, like, helping us, if that makes sense. Like, you would think, well, probably not if she is sentient and she doesn't even realise she's an AI. But, like, you would think she would have program in her to stop her from doing this because we are, like, trying to break the program. Or, I don't know if we're trying to break the program, but we're going against what we're here to do, right? I don't follow. What's that supposed to do? With, I guess the taste changes? Sorry, I'm bad at explaining. Okay, so I started off by tasting the drinks on their own. I'm not exactly a whiskey connoisseur, but at the very least I could tell the difference between the two by taste alone. See, I wouldn't be able to tell the difference. I've got such a bad palate that I just can't even tell. So the bottles got swapped. The important thing was I didn't know whether or not, okay, they'd been switched. So basically, he's told Ether to do something or not do something, and we're trying to see if it's the one that we believe it was. The bottles were otherwise identical, so the only way I'd be able to tell the difference between the 2 drinks was via taste. So we did a number of different taste tests with Ether taking the bottles away after every round. Were you just trying to get drunk? That's what it sounds like, right? Of course not. I was taking small sips, that's all. My goal was to guess which drink was which based on taste. I figured that if we did this tricky taste test enough, my brain would eventually get duped. Or you just end up so drunk that you can't tell the difference, because if you drink enough alcohol, it all starts to taste the same. That's what happens to me when I drink wine anyway. I hate wine, but after like a glass, wine's good. I was waiting for Eva to eventually correct me and say that wasn't whiskey X, that was whiskey Y. But that never happened. You correctly identified, okay, which it was every time. And that was through the power of imagination. Right, we did this like 9 times, and I was right 9 times. So either I just happened to guess right every single time, statistically unlikely, or my theory was flawed. Or true? Why does that mean it's flawed? I honestly expected that one to work. Like, is that not the predicted outcome here? Was that we got it right every time because we expected to get it right every time? What's more, when we tried to go back to the main hall from the Red Wing, found that one of the doors had been locked. Right, I knew that. It's why we were stuck there for so long. What bothers me about that is that we all knew the door was unlocked. We'd unlocked it not an hour prior. I tried to open it again, convinced the door could not possibly be locked, but it remained shut despite my protests. Okay, so that's... yeah, but that's controlled externally, so it doesn't actually work like that. And that's true, it doesn't work exactly the way that he was imagining, because he was imagining, like, in a dreamy way. Clearly, what we contestants believed meant nothing. If our beliefs had even a modicum of influence on this hotel, that door would have been unlocked, right? At that point, I decided to put that theory of mine on the back burner. Weird. It's not like you to be so, wrong. But I guess it's not like you to drink whiskey either. 9 shots too. Way to go. This douche. Get him out of my face. Sips. 9 sips. I still can't shake the feeling that there's something I'm missing here. That tear closed itself when I willed it to. There's no way that's a coincidence, right? I've got to think about this a bit harder. Now, as much as I love teasing 9 drink ink, why don't we finally get this door open, huh? Good idea. Might want to be careful with this one. It looks sort of heavy-duty. Sean winced as he cracked open the door with a dramatic heave. Oh, who farted? So, right, this is back to the corner then. Must be my imagination then. Yeah, why can he smell that when others can't? That's weird. Okay, so I'm gonna guess that that's all the new stuff there. Alright, we are in chapter 27, Gauntlet, my favourite chapter. And we are at the password door. And remember when I was like, oh, maybe it's that number that we keep seeing throughout the game? And I typed something like 349. Well, we're gonna go 379. This hopefully will work. And based on the theory that we've been having as ink, maybe that's why it works, because of the 379 thing. That's come from our mind, right? We've literally projected it into the scene. Hey! So, here's where I don't really know what I'm doing next. I'm gonna, I guess, see if anything else happens here differently. 379. I still don't know what it means, but somehow I knew that was the answer. I mean, what else could it have been? Huh? What just happened? I'll be honest, I'm not quite sure. It's open at least. Do we just go in? Something doesn't feel right. That's what we said we'd do. I'll go in first, but, you know, be careful in there. Yeah, you too. It's time. Let's enter. What is this place? What? Tiana stood near the desks at the far corner of the room. How do you get in here? Damn it, Sen told you the password, didn't he? Of course not. Did you really think I wouldn't figure it out? 379 of all things. 379? That's not the password. What are you talking about? Whatever, it doesn't matter now. Ink, Ray! Ethan was sitting awkwardly on one of the machines in the back. Whatever they were, their slender design made them poor benches. She stood up as she noticed ink. Okay, let me check what I'm doing and go from there. Alright, now we are in chapter 28 finale, and I have skipped to the part where Sean reaches us in the void. So, let's see. I don't know when to start reading, so I'm just kind of going to speed through it like I have been doing. Full on sprint, not daring to look back. Ink continued to run as fast as his legs could carry him. Couldn't outrun the dread or nausea. Taking a moment to wipe the blood from his mouth, Ink made the mistake of turning around. Sean is catching up. How is that possible? If he kept this up, Sean would be on him in minutes. Can't outrun him. I'm not sure why, but I can't. I'll need to stand up to him then. Maybe we don't need to do this bit. All he had was his Gemini. Took a deep breath, trying to calm his nerves. No sense putting it off then. Ink turned around sighing and began to walk back. He'd confront Sean head on. He refused to be intimidated. If it isn't Ink, so you done with your little temper tantrum? Ink didn't try to answer. Not that it mattered. Sean was happy to keep rambling on. Seriously, make me come all the way out here. I didn't make you do anything. Trust me, I wouldn't be out here if I didn't have to be. If I'm being honest, I'm starting to get real annoyed with you. Exit corners is over. You said it yourself. Why do you even care at this point? You think I can just check out here anytime I want? It's not safe to leave the simulation while other people are still frolicking around in it, firing off brainwaves. Could lead to synaptic overload apparently, long-term damage. Now I don't know what that's like, but I'm not interested in finding out. It's safer for us all if we leave corners in sync, you get me? So I remember all of this. Right. Let me walk you back. I'm not going anywhere with you, buddy. Come on. Never. And I'm not your buddy. We are not buddies. Fuck you, Sean. Now's not a time to suddenly be rebellious. Oh yeah, because I remember being like, suddenly? What are you talking about? We'll see about that. I'm serious. The way I say, you've got two options. Come with me and leave, and you'll wake up safe and sound. Assuming you don't kill me outright before I wake up. Well, option 2 is for me to kill you right here, right now. Not the ideal outcome, I'll admit, but at least your mind won't be active anymore. That means an easy exit for the rest of us. So it's that easy, huh? You'd kill me just like that, without so much of a second thought? Sean simply... The thing is, he probably would have got us back if he'd, like, not even mentioned anything about killing and, like, being opposed to killing and all that. Like, it's not winning his corner, is it? Do you know the reason we chose you? The real reason? Oh, yeah, so this is when he's, like, completely being an arsehole to us. And, like, later on we, like, totally put him in his place about that. Oh, we did before. I don't know when the change is gonna kick in. Couldn't afford to lose face, it would just give Sean more power. Sociopath, murderer, you're doing all this for what? Money? Not just money, clout, stability. I don't know, yeah, talking about his career. Even if it means robbing someone else of theirs. Surprisingly easier to find out earlier today. Talking about maybe killing Beth is what he's talking about there. You're pathetic. Sean thought that was funny apparently. He thought everything was funny. Ink looked beyond Sean back at the hotel. The screen of light was minuscule in the distance. For a while there, I thought there'd be some benevolent explanation. Yeah. There could always be a benevolent explanation. Always. I'm not naive. So be it. I'd rather be naive and hopeful than whatever the fuck you are. Benevolent naivety. Benevity. Where did this backbone come from, eh? Okay. Time's upping. Okay, sorry. Stay hydrated, guys. Come to think of it, Sean, probably spent more time in here than you have. Probably it is dangerous to be here after all. Is this new? Is this the new part? I've spent 24 hours in this place. Yeah, congratulations. You want a medal or something? Started with the blue ink. That's when I knew something was up. What are you talking about? Oh, have we got it all, like, figured out? I started to think back on the puzzles. Had all my solutions been correct? Or was it that I thought they were correct? Sean stopped in his tracks. Apparently he was interested in what Ink was trying to say. My suspicions were confirmed with the valid puzzle. That's when I was certain some of the puzzles had multiple solutions. You know how much I read. I solved that thing almost immediately. I still remember it too. Ale, ivy, die, aid, ivy, lie. But I found the alternate solution at about the same time. When that solution actually worked, I was certain that this game had some amount of wiggle room. Thinking back on it, Tiana's reaction really cements the fact that the alternate solution wasn't intentional. You're trying to confuse me, aren't you? Don't you see what this means? Enlighten me. Maybe that you're not in control? It means that Corners is more malleable than you think. So, who gives a shit? I do. It means I don't have to be afraid of you. Ink closed his eyes, recalling the terror that nearly overwhelmed him. He brought it to the forefront of his mind and held it there. Go back the way you came. He could hear Sean's haggard breath as he drew closer. I'm serious, Sean. Sean was practically looming over him now. Don't make me do this. Do what? I'm calling you bluff. Sean reached for him. Open. Oh, shit. Oh, did we just, like, absolutely slice him in two? Yeah, I saw blood. What little remainder of Sean spilled out into the void, an amorphous mess of flesh and blood. Did we just open the void in the middle of Sean and he just, like, exploded? That was like... that was so out of the blue and shocking. He just vanished. He's just gone. A dizziness took hold of Ink as his brain began to identify the viscera scattered at his feet. He averted his eyes as vomit climbed his throat. Close it. So he has control of this void. He recalled earlier that he managed to will it away, so obviously he just willed it back there. So I guess the reason it didn't affect Aether was because she isn't real. And the reason it affected Sean was because he is real. Because Aether walked straight through it before. Oh god. All Ink could feel was revulsion. More at what he'd done than what he'd seen. I just wanted to defend myself. Not this. Ah, fuck it. The world's better off without him. It was a necessary course of action. Ink froze. Oh, it was a necessary course of action. Aether? Sean would have killed you. He left you with few options. You will be upset for a time, but forgive yourself in the end. Ultimately, you will conclude that Sean was in error and that he did this to himself. You clairvoyant you. Oh, you're not Aether. I am not the individual you know as Aether, though, paradoxically, she was me. Ah, yeah, okay. You may continue to call me Aether if you wish. It is a fitting enough description. So now we're talking to that AI? So, Ether, why are you here? I exist only within corners. Where else would I be? That's not what I meant. What do you want? To help you. I can take you away from this place, if you wish. Away from me. Can you really just do that? I can take you most of the way, but I will require your cooperation. The other contestants are ready to wake. It is my recommendation that you join them. Okay, what do I need to do to get out of here? Please lie down. Ink obeyed. For reasons he couldn't put into words, he trusted this other ether. Whoa, they're nearly the same word. Why are you helping me? Because you expect me to. Oh, that's cool. You must relax your body. Take deep breaths. Now fall. Gently, oh so gently, the floor beneath him turned to mist. This time he's fallen on his own with no Sean, because Sean doesn't exist anymore, except the odd body part that may be free fallen with us. But we've got our eyes closed, so it doesn't matter. Ink plummeted through the darkness, trying to forget what he'd done. And so he fell. And fell. And oh, I didn't get to read all of this before. But I think it's saying basically that we went out of bounds. Alright, so that was different. We may have just semi-accidentally murdered Sean. And you know what? I don't feel bad about it in the slightest. In fact, I feel better. I felt uneasy when he was alive. Then we would have to spend our whole life wondering, oh my god, what if Sean comes to kill us? This was self-defense. He was an asshole. And he got absolutely just torn in two. Okay. Epilogue. Let's see. I don't know how much will have changed here. I'm so glad that happened. He deserved it. Except he deserved it to happen slower so that he would know it was happening. Like, he'll have just died there without knowing. Would have been better if he knew. It's spring technically. Sure doesn't feel like it though. You can feel the cold seeping in. Oh yeah, so we did this. So I'm just kind of looking for anything that looks new. So this is the anchor room, but the real life version. If we had managed to get Liza, I think she would maybe have been here too. But yeah, this time she also didn't come with us, so okay. Okay, so I'm kind of flicking through this. It's all been the same so far, but then he's like, you have blood on your hands too, now too. I can only hope the same doesn't happen to you. Don't you threaten me. I accidentally murdered someone with like psychic powers. Like, Howie, it wouldn't have happened if I wasn't in your stupid machine. That was self-defense. You know that. I'm aware. I do suspect, however, that you could have found a non-violent solution if you wished. I believe you wanted him dead, or hurt at the very least, after he'd gone to such lengths to hurt you. Am I wrong? Revenge always comes at a cost. Take it from me. So what, are you gonna report me to the police or something? You've no need to worry, it would be impossible to prove what you've done. Only you, me, and our sponsor will ever know what really happened. But you will have to live with this burden. Make no mistake, no matter how you try to justify what you've done, the truth will gnaw at you over time. If that's the price I have to pay, then so be it. What about Sean's family though? His friends? Don't they deserve to know that he's gone? Unfortunately, I don't believe I'll be able to convincingly pass off his death as a simple accident. So ultimately, I believe it is for the best that he simply goes missing. However, I don't believe Sean was particularly close with very many people. We'll see if anyone even comes to ask about him. Yeah, like how he was saying that we're all losers and no one would miss him. He's probably in that boat too. Or more so than us. For all his posturing, he was just like the rest of us, exactly. So it would seem. One of Tiana. Okay, so we saw this bit. I wonder if that's all of it then. I'm gonna check through and then I'll check back in if I find anything new, or if not when I get to the end. Oh shit, I've skipped through a little bit there, but we're just talking about what's gonna happen to Aoife. And Ink's in. Yeah, things were getting pretty off the wall at the end there. Hell, I was even messing around with the environment. Indeed, tearing into the very fabric of the simulation itself. I didn't know that it was possible to lucidly control corners to such a degree. I almost wonder if the fact that you're transgender. So I'm gonna stop you right there. I don't know what it is you're about to say, and I'm sure your intentions are not malicious, at least. But before you speak, I'd like you to ask yourself if what you're about to say has a chance of coming off as ignorant. What is he gonna say? What's that supposed to mean? Like, what does that change at all? Well, I suppose it might. I apologize. Okay, so if anyone's gonna say anything and they are not sure, then just like do what Ink just said and just take a second and think like, is this gonna offend someone? Maybe I won't say it then. You know, it's not that difficult. But that was a cool way to just be like, hang on, think for a second. Like, maybe in the future do that as well. Thank you. It's fine. In any case, I don't think I'll be stepping onto corners ever again, so it's not like I really need to know every single thing about it. What was he gonna say? Is he saying that we can control it more than other people because of being trans? You're right, and neither do I, to be honest. I'll have to learn to be happy with the answers I have. I couldn't research the remaining anomalies even if I wanted to. Okay, so we've read all this before as well. So, also that confirms, like, there was a lot of clues to Ink being trans, but I never brought it up. But I kind of suspected it in my brain, and I just thought I'd wait and see if it ever came up, and then it didn't. But then it did, so it's cool to have that confirmation. I'm gonna skip forward again. Alright, and I guess we've gotten to the end and I haven't found anything different there. But Liza should be here too, you know? I don't know why the code didn't work. Maybe I changed something in one of the choices that I had to make to get to the puzzles. But yeah, shit. I really wanted to see what happens with her. I cut in a little bit early there, but there we go. Okay, that was... I wonder if I missed anything there. I don't know if I did or not, but I think it wasn't meant to be this whole huge new ending. It was like little changes and stuff. And I don't know if you're supposed to have that reaction that I had there when Sean got obliterated. And my first instinct was that it was really fucking funny. I was just a bit shocked, that's all. Like, it was just suddenly blood, and then it was gone. It was good. I'm glad that happened. I don't know which one I want to be canon more. I like that because we got a little bit of closure with Aoife too. Sean's dead and Aoife had some closure, so like, I think I like that one better. Although I don't like that Nolan like has something over us when he's like you've got blood on your hands too. Fuck off. Don't bring that up and then be like, oh, well, don't worry, we wouldn't be able to prove it anyway. Like, if that's the case, don't bring it up in the first place. But if you, like, it feels like he's trying to be manipulative and he's, like, trying to remind us that he's powerful and stuff. And it's like, oh, fuck off. So yeah, that's the end of Exit Corners. I do have to say, I do recommend going on to the AMA that they did. It's very good. Like, it answers loads of different questions, like even things about how the program works, and like character motivations and stuff like that. And also, like, there was things, for example, so the player that we are, the sponsor guy, like, he is his own character with a backstory that has been written, hasn't been shared to us, because in the future, just in case the developer would like to revisit this world and make a game about the original hotel incident, because he has actually made an outline about what happened in those times. And I really, really hope that he gets the Exit Corners bug back and decides to come back and make a game about that, because I'd love to play it. The sponsor is an interesting character to me. Like, I want to know more about the history and like what led to this and stuff like that. And I love murder games, so I think that would be great, but I don't think there's any plans at the moment to get to that. But it's something that's at least been thought out and written, which is very, like, I think is very cool to know. It makes everything seem a bit less random. The fact that of all of the things that we could have been doing in this program, we were doing this hotel murder game. Like, that's just so random, but there's a backstory to it that's already been written. So to me, that justifies what we were doing a lot more, rather than just murder game for the sake of murder game, you know? Although I think it kind of is. But yeah, it's well worth a read. So what he does say in there as well is that instead of doing chapter 30, he did the AMA, Ask Me Anything, because I think it was just to save time and stuff, because I think chapter 30 was basically just going to be a Q&A anyway, to tie up loose ends. And like, chapter 29 Epilogue was also a bit of a Q&A, so I understand why they changed their mind. I was just wondering there if chapter 30 would have been like the thumb drive thing, the USB or whatever it is, that Nolan gives ink with like transcripts and stuff on. Like, I wondered if that was meant to be chapter 30 at the start, and that's where we would like answer some questions and like have manuals and stuff. But I could have just made that up. Like, that's just how I imagine him doing it. Like, if you're gonna do the Q&A and you give someone a thumb drive with answers on, it seems like a good setup for that. But instead we ended up with this AMA, which is, it's a good read. I recommend giving it a read. It answers a lot of the questions, like for example, if Ray was supposed to die, why was the sword there? And in reality, the sword wasn't supposed to be there. They were supposed to do Ray's room first, but it was Scent that messed that up by giving the choice. Originally, they shouldn't have been into the other wing where the sword was, so Ray should have died there, and then that should have drove Beth to then kill herself in her room, but she wouldn't have died because, like, you're leaving her behind. Same with Liza, like, she would have stayed behind, but she wouldn't have died. But Ink would have thought that they had died because he'd left them behind. And then leading to him being alone with Ether for his corner. And that's the way that it was meant to go originally. Which is very cool. And I'm glad we messed it up for them. And to be fair, it seems like the sponsor enjoyed that we messed it up for them. And ultimately, it lets Sean be dead, so yay, I'm happy with that. Yes, read the AMA, it's very cool. And I think that is it then. I think that is a wrap on Exit Corners. I've enjoyed it very much. Thank you anybody for taking this journey with me. It has been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed, like, this has been different to anything I've really done before. Like, I've done visual novels, but they've always had voice acting, at least partly. So, like, I know I'm not a voice actor or anything like that, but I did have fun just, like, doing the different people and seeing how it turned out. And it turned out really fun for me. So, thank you for the encouragement to do that. And I hope to do more in the future. I have recently released a channel update, and this is going to be my last Let's Play for a while. Unfortunately, like, I hate that, but it's just the way that things have to be. If you want more information, you can find that on my channel. So I'm having a break from doing Let's Plays, but I am still streaming. So if anybody would like to see more of my content, I have tons of stuff on YouTube. If you enjoyed this, I have done the entire Zero Escape series as Let's Plays. I can't really recommend 999 because that's really old videos, but VLR and Zero Time Dilemma were very fun. Although I recommend the game 999, just not my series. So they are there ready to watch if you want. I have a whole catalogue of like stream VODs and stuff. So they're all in alphabetical order if anybody would like to find some games that they would like to see me play. And I stream 3 times a week live on Twitch. So if anybody wants to see me there, you can look me up at CtrlAltNoob 0. And it's a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying it. I think that's it. Thank you so much. It's so weird to be finishing a series, and not just finishing the series, but finishing this series because I'm not doing any more for a while. It's kind of sad, but I've enjoyed it, so thank you, and I will catch you later sometime, I guess. I can't say see you for the next one. God damn it. Alright. So long, people. Goodbye. Stay safe. Don't die. Wait, that's not what sense is. Or you could live. How about that? There we go. Take that message away from this game. Or you could live. Bye-bye.